Hello, all my friends. I hope all is fine and well with you and yours. My name is Charles Collins, and welcome to Together We Grows, solar-powered aquaponic, hydroponic, and traditional gardens. Well, guys, we're at the beginning of summer here in the Tucson, Arizona desert. And you know what? Pardon me. Before I go any further, if you guys haven't already done so, please click like, hit subscribe, that little bell will go off, and you'll be updated with all of the amazing, and I mean amazing, just science and gardening and just growing all together videos and content that we create. Also, don't forget to check out our community and consider becoming a member, because all funds from you guys enable us to do the stuff that we're doing here, as well as at all of the schools, community, and senior centers all around the city of Tucson and abroad. Now, some of you may know, some of you may not. I do live in Tucson, Arizona, southwestern United States, and we, like I said earlier, we are at the beginning of summer. So today, it is a nice, cool, crisp 104 degrees Fahrenheit in my backyard. So I know you guys, and this is why I'm sitting right here, because I want you guys to sit, look, like right next to me. You see this? See this? These are winter greens. Yep, these are winter greens. And how are they doing this in this 104 degree heat? We're gonna get back to that, but I want you guys to know, like, I'm not the star of this video. These guys are the stars of this video. So if you have any questions, please don't forget, put them below. I'd love to hear back from you guys. If you have any suggestions, let me know. But we try it Together We Grow. We try to do the gardening with a flair, with a touch of science that maybe you didn't consider. And all things that we're doing here, you amazing folks can do at home, right along with your families. Turn it into experiments, turn it into little home assignments, mostly turn it into gardening adventures that you, your family, and your neighbors can all benefit from. Now, trying to beat the heat in a desert isn't easy, especially when you're growing outdoors. Now, this is our 64-port living wall gardening system, and this is a hydroponic hybrid system, which means we are using a hydroponics technique. And ours is it being more of the light film technique. Was it LFT, I think? I might be messing the term up. Forgive me, guys. I know you'll correct me because you guys are super duper awesome. But we're using that. But like I said, it's 104 degrees out here. These plants are growing out of this 64-port fabric wall. Now, as you see, this wall, it looks pretty full, right? So as you guys follow along this video, I want to kind of blow your minds away with like what's actually happening here. I believe there are only 8 or 9 plants in this system. And those 8 or 9 plants are part of the reason why the entire system is still able to be kept so cool. So now you got to be thinking, all right, it's 104 degrees in the desert heat. How are these plants remaining cool when there's no fan, there's no chilling system, there are no ice cubes? What in the world is going on? What is the science behind this? On that note, I do want to take a quick second to say thank you and just give all of my blessings, my gratitude to all of the educators out there, science teachers, teachers who think, and professors who teach kids to think out of the box, who allow them to not conform to what society says, that hey, you can learn this, but then you can learn so much more, because guess what? When you learn, you teach. So I want to thank all of you educators out there, not just the ones that are in schools or in universities, but the mom and dads, the grandparents, the aunts and uncles that are at home. Each one teach one. I'm a firm believer in it takes a village, and it really does. So kudos to all of you guys who are investing into the family at home. I hope, because I do hear back from so many of you folks, that you allow your kids to watch the content that I create. And I hope that you duplicate, replicate, try to do some of these experiments at home, because you guys actually can. If you want any tips, any advice how, please hit me up in my inbox. We will be providing these kits. Like I said, the tunnel kits, the tray kits, you name it, we will be providing it. But back to the little bit of science here. Now, I don't want to go ahead and just straight up give you guys the answer to how this system works. I know we have so many brilliant minds out there. They may be watching this video. Hopefully you guys are one of them. I know you are. If you're watching this, you definitely are. Don't let anyone tell you different. So before I explain it to you, can someone explain to me how, if the ground in front of the system is 159.8 degrees Fahrenheit, which it is, and see, go to the top, the water from the reservoir is 83.4 degrees Fahrenheit. How is it? And trust me, guys, it's not because this is shade, because it's still in the sun. 75.7. The plant roots are 75.7 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, here's the ironic thing, all right? When I refilled the reservoir earlier today, I want you guys to tell me the science behind this. Come on, this is going to be so cool, this experiment, us doing this together. I think this is going to be so awesome. So earlier, when I had to refill the reservoir because it was over halfway empty, the ambient temperature of the water coming out of the hose was roughly 82, 83 degrees because the hose is outside and it's hot. We're in the desert. It says probably 104, 100 point something, 105 degrees almost now. That's how quick the temperature goes up. So the water in the reservoir can be no cooler. Once that 80 plus degree water from the hose gets in there, it can be no cooler than that 83 degree mark, whatever the temperature of the water is from the hose. So what technique, what theory, what principle is cooling the water from the top to where it drips and at a small trickle right back down at the bottom of the system, back down into the reservoir? I don't want to give it away, and you know what? I don't even think I'm going to tell you guys what the science is behind this, what the principle is. But I will give you a hint. If you live in a desert and you didn't have air conditioning, then you probably know. But if you've also seen our older aquaponics video, when we had, I think it was 3 years ago, when we had the hottest summer on record in the southwestern desert. Hottest on record, ever. Yet we were growing 15 and 20 and 25 pound melons in the water in our aquaponics system, which had no chiller. All it had was a 4-watt fan, and that water was kept at a nominal temperature of between 74 and 77 degrees with no effort, solar powered. So during the hottest summer on record, I want you guys to explain to me, and like I said, if you live in Tucson, if you live in the southwestern United States, matter of fact, even more so with this system, because we have international viewers. If you live in any desert arid climate, especially Egypt, Saudi Arabia, somewhere there in the peninsula, you should know how I'm keeping this cool. And it's nothing that I invented. It's something that's been around from our elders since the beginning of agriculture. And isn't this fascinating? This system is actually designed on the hanging walls of Babylon, which they don't think they were actually in Babylon. They actually thought they were someplace else, but that's a horse of a different color. But I want you guys to tell me the science behind that. Also, there are no effects on the video in this color. How are these things possibly this beautiful, this luscious, and this green when it's so hot in this desert? And if these are winter greens, how am I also growing peppers on the same plant, on the same foundation? What am I doing? Because I'm telling you, I'm doing very minimum. But can you guys tell me the principle and theory, the science behind how the plants are figuring this out? Please share it, post it, put it below. And the next couple of videos, because these are going to be becoming more frequent, in the next couple of videos, I'm actually going to be going over some of the answers because, like I said, each one teach one. And I love growing with you guys. So, to give you guys a little bit more info, before you post your answers below, I want you to take a look. This is the top of the system. And you can see one of the drips, I actually turned it on high just so you can see it in action right there. That's one of the emitters right there. But if you look on top, there are emitters going all the way down. Those are the only water emitters, but somehow the water, the nutrient solution, is going from the top all the way down to that reservoir via that gray hose right there, and it's being fed up through that black hose right here. Comes up the side. Like I said, I don't want this system to be a mystery to you guys. I want you to see this, and I also want you to realize it's been growing just phenomenally. The hotter it gets, the more it's growing. And I know that sounds silly, and actually that's not even a principle. It's not growing any faster because it's getting hotter. It's that with this system, because it's not based on an active cooler, which means there's no temperature for me to type of keep. If I continue to do this, in theory, this temperature will continue to drop and drop and drop. So I told you guys before, and I'm just reminding you, plants will show you how they feel about the weather through their leaves, but that's not how they tell the temperature. Plants tell the temperature through their roots. So even though it's 159 or something degrees on the ground right here, and it's 104 or 105 in the air around us, these plants only think it's 75, 76 degrees. How cool is that? So before I let you guys go, I want to make it a little bit more fun. If you guys post the correct answer below, all right, and we'll have a little lottery for all of the ones who posted the correct answers. The winner will get a signed Together We Grow mug, as well as a Together We Grow novelty shirt from yours truly to you, along with a mention in our next video from yours truly of you. Come on, guys, let's make this fun, right? So I'm hoping to hear from you soon. Even though it's hot outside, we try to keep it cool inside, and the plants just need a little bit of love. That's all you have to do. So until we meet again, plant that first seed, and together we grow. Peace and blessings, my friends.